What's going on, fish? Welcome back to the Coy Pond. As always, joined with our host with the most, K-Dog, episode 58.
Good morning, everybody.
How about them apples? Another wonderful morning in the football world. As always, you can find us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, and don't forget to leave us a question on SpeakPipe.
The store.
Yes.
Real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Got a little update on the store.
I'll move this to the beginning of the video.
Okay. So a little update on the store is they're going to go ahead and select hats, hoodies, sweatshirts, t-shirts.
Yep.
And put a selection on there. So it should be pretty soon now. Maybe even before the end of the year.
Hell yeah.
So exciting stuff.
Yes, we will have store stuff in the links of every video. I will put it in the link of the bio, depending on what platform you watch us on, YouTube, Spotify, wherever. I'll throw it in there so it's readily available. Worst case, find it on YouTube. And once we get to the threshold on the videos, it'll pop up recommending the different things. We have to meet some requirements through YouTube to get to the monetization portion of this channel. Not that we're even close, but once we get there, it'll be a lot easier to find. For now, it'll just be a link, and it'll send you right to the shop. We'll make it super easy for you guys that might want some Coy Pond merch. I haven't been wearing it as of late, but you know what you're getting. You're getting a fine piece of clothing. You're going to love it. Perfect for Easter gift coming up. Hey, we got another week. We got another week 16 in the NFL as things are getting worse and better for some teams. Lord only knows this past week had no good primetime games. I mean, you see absolutely nothing in the 49ers Rams game. Congrats to the Rams. Sunday night, we got, Packers, Seahawks. Smith gets hurt. Packers run away with that. Who fucking cares? Vikings, Bears. Who the fuck cares? And Kirk Cousins sucks. So 15-9. Wow. I don't think it was a scoregami. But, doubleheader on Monday night. We can't roll one positive game. Unfortunate stuff happening in the NFL. We're not going to hit on it. Frankly, there's nothing fun to talk about. Obviously, the Bills-Lions game was amazing. I missed all of the games because of a Christmas party. And, at this point, you've probably already heard all of the news you need to about what's going on in the NFL in this past week. Right. If you're freaking out, you're going to keep freaking out whether we talk about it or not. If you're feeling pretty good, there's nothing we could say to make you feel worse. So we're just going to keep it moving into this week, starting with the saddest part of our show. If you've been watching the last few weeks, you know what I'm talking about. We are having to bury two teams this week. Kind of happy. A lot of more teams got into the playoffs than got eliminated officially. But we do have two teams that we've been waiting to do this for some time. First up, Chicago Bears. You gave it a good run. I was wrong about you. I thought you were the best place a quarterback could go. I thought Caleb Williams might have a shot. Your coach is gone. Your quarterback is cheeks. The team is in fire. And I think the front office is being lit up as we speak. There's looters in the lobby. I have no idea what this team looks like going forward. If that might be a sacred burial ground, they just need to bury and move locations.
I'm not sure that you heard this either, though, but it's kind of interesting. Jim Harbaugh wanted to go to the Bears.
Yep.
And because the guy in the front office had some connection back to Ohio State, he denied it.
Yeah, so great look for the Bears, and because of that, you've been eliminated. Ta-ta, we'll see you next year. On to the second team, Carolina Panthers.
Ugh.
We had some high hopes for you this year, and for what it's worth, Bryce Young, since back, has looked better, given they were favored this week, and boy, was everyone drinking the Kool-Aid because they should not have been. Nevertheless, Panthers, you're figuring it out. I'll give you another year. It looked bad. It looked real fucking bad initially.
The Panthers were so bad, they made the Cowboys look like the good Cowboys from 2 years ago.
Yeah, with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, they made it look like a typical Dak Prescott-led blowout of an easy team.
It did.
Which we know he does. That's the only thing he does well.
Yep.
And it was with Cooper Rush. So they really turned the clock back.
Not a revenge game for Mingo. However, I bet he feels good being on that side of the burial. You know what? Carolina Panthers, this year is not your year. But we'll stay optimistic for next year.
Sure.
We've seen way worse so far.
Some growth there, right?
Remember,
some improvement.
There was 8 burials before you, including the Chicago Bears. It will get better. All right. Got the burial over with. 2 teams, very easy. You know what? It keeps on moving. And on to our week 3 Misfit Toy Award. A glorious award this season, as we've had previous winners do amazing later on. Sadly.
Would you like to be a cowboy that rides an ostrich?
Yes, yes.
Or a train with square wheels?
I'm not...
Misfits.
Yeah. This week, our little Misfit Toy Award goes to someone that was on the other side of this. Not even a couple months ago. This time he threw for 5 touchdowns instead of 5 interceptions. And he still lost instead of 1.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And Jared Goff, I am so sorry to have to give you this award this week. Again, box score watcher myself. Lions came back. Had some dumb calls we can talk about in a second. And you know what? They brought it to within 6 points. For where that game was at one point, kind of impressive. They lost, I think, 2 more players, David Montgomery included.
Oh, ouch.
Out for the season, I believe.
Brutal. Brutal.
I can't believe it. Congrats on the Toy Award, but talking about the Lions as a whole, with how many injuries they have, and given injuries happen to every NFL team, no matter how big the news is, teams lose players. I understand that. With how many starters and direct backups they've lost, it's incredible they hung in this game.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it was home.
Agreed.
It might have been a different story in Buffalo. But, I mean, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's amazing. and lots of teams are going through the same kind of situation, right?
Yes.
And does it go back to preseason? Does it go back with the lack of contact in practice? The bodies aren't ready. So when you actually get into full game speed contact, it's more dramatic, the effect. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of shit this year.
Is it turf? Is it grass? I mean, this debate goes on for years. It has been going on for years. I don't know what they could do differently. I will say the onside kick the Lions did, I find a bit stupid. I think they've completely made the onside kick a joke. With you having to tell the other team you're doing an onside kick, I see no reason to do it.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. The barefoot bastard made off with the ball down the field, almost a touchdown. I mean, don't get me wrong. Dan Campbell's an amazing coach. He's done an amazing job with the Lions as a whole. But the questionable decisions, they lose either way. Not the end of the world. The Lions will be back. It was the Bills, an AFC team they lost to. They should be looking out for the Eagles, if anything. But, still have a handle on it.
Yeah, and I think it was maybe early for the onside kick.
Yeah.
But I like that he was trying to do something, recognizing his defenses, because they lost 2 more starters in the game.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get in front of it, and, I don't know.
Both sides, there's an argument to be made.
Yep.
I don't know if the onside kicks it anymore. I mean, at this point, it might be gone next year with how it feels like the NFL treats it. Nevertheless.
But there have been 2 successful ones, despite all that.
But, I mean...
Isn't that crazy?
It is. It is crazy there's been 2, but, I mean, I think the percentage is so low that it's... I don't think it lends much of a reason, if any.
Yeah.
But regardless...
It's interesting.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Who knows? This week, the old meat and potatoes that we want to talk about a little bit is we've got some quarterback jeopardy going on in the NFL.
Dropping like flies, man.
Yeah, would you like to start with one of these glorious just to talk about? Because we have plenty to run through.
There is so many of them. It's crazy. I mean, let's start with Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
What's the scoop there? I mean,
so, gets banged up, ankle, I believe, run over at some point in that game versus...
It looked pretty ugly.
Yeah, and it didn't look great. And they have short weeks coming up because, as you guys probably know, if you play in the Christmas games this year, that's why they're having the Saturday games, so that there's enough of a gap into it that going forward it doesn't mess up, and you're not playing on a super short week this upcoming week. So because of that, I think their stat is 3 games in 10 days.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes, he gets hurt versus the Browns, or at least banged up, however you want to say it. Now he has to go play Saturday afternoon. Does Patrick Mahomes start? Is that the right thing to do with where they're at in the AFC? Is that the dumb thing to do, knowing that if I think it's who they play next, gets him re-injured or hurt more?
Right.
I mean, we saw it in the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers, I think.
Yeah.
Where Mahomes had a kind of bum ankle. I don't know if it's the same one or not, but if it's the same one, this might be something where you're like, we can afford to put Carson Wentz in there against the Texans and just whatever happens.
Right? I think that's probably what they're going to wind up doing.
It feels like the smart move because if I'm the Chiefs, there's more important games ahead.
Yeah.
You have the AFC, maybe not locked up, But, I mean, you're going to get in the playoffs.
Right. Exactly right.
It'll be an interesting thing to watch this upcoming week. Who knows what really happens? And, yeah, I mean, Patrick Mahomes being hurt, that's a huge initial bang to the NFL.
How about Michael Penix? Let's go to that one.
You know what? Ever since Kirk Cousins played the Chargers, he hasn't been charged so well.
1 touchdown and 9 interceptions since that game, I think.
It is insane, the kind of fall off or...
There's a report that something like he's hurt, or is it his... So I don't know if it's actually this is the end of Kirk, or is it something physical, he's banged up, or he's got an injury.
Yeah, and if it's an injury, that's one thing. But in one of the press conference or post-game conferences that he had, he looked like he genuinely didn't know why he was playing the way he is.
That's not good.
I mean, it's crazy. I don't know if someone stole his voodoo, but this is not the same Kirk Cochains we've seen on the Redskins and the Vikings.
And let's roll back to the draft.
Yes.
And let's talk about the owner being pissed off about them taking Penix after they signed for $400 million, by the way.
Yes.
Kirk Cousins, who now is on the bench for that very player they drafted. Thank God they did.
Exactly. And that leads me to wonder, is there underlying injury issues that the doctor, Kirk Cochains, anybody else could have warned the Falcons about before they signed him? And they were like, okay, we have to prepare for, this might only last so far into the season.
Yep.
And that's why they did get Michael Penix. Are they that smart, or did they get lucky?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. You would think that the owner wouldn't have been pissed like he was if that was a plan.
You would think.
I don't know. You never know.
That's the thing about the NFL. We don't know who knows what and how much they know.
Right.
So either the GM looks like a genius, got lucky, or this is simply just a product of Kirk Cousins has just been in it so long that maybe, I don't know. I'm not saying he's bad. I just want to make that straight. He's not a bad player, but they're starting Michael Penix.
Right.
And they had the option of going to the playoffs. It doesn't look like that's going to happen now, or at least it'll be a long shot.
And what a failure, right?
Yes.
What
a failure.
So they go up against Drew Lock and the Giants this week. Penix. So we got 2 replacements here playing backup quarterbacks. I don't know. That everybody talks about how Atlanta's going to kill the Giants, but I don't know. I don't know about that.
I think it's worth a conversation. The Giants are terrible. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But sometimes a team that has nothing to lose will play a team way better that has everything, because now the Buccaneers run that division.
Right.
And you have to win that division to even make the playoffs.
Right.
There's a nuclear fallout scenario where they both get in that I don't even think can happen now.
Yeah.
Maybe it can, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah.
But that leads into Tommy Cutlets.
Right.
Tommy DeVito. He's out.
He's out.
The Italian stallion has been put down by the mob. And Drew Lock's back.
Played pretty well last time he was in. He had good moments.
Yeah, we've seen worse.
And he's got more snaps than Penix does, game snaps. So is he more ready to go than Penix? We'll find out.
Will we see a Malik Neighbors resurrection game?
Yeah.
Potentially. I'm not saying we will.
Yeah.
But Drew Lock, or does Penix come out of the gate looking like a starter? I mean, he was drafted 5th.
Yeah, pretty high.
He was drafted
top
high.
10.
Yeah, top 10 in the draft. I mean, he's been watching Kirk Cousins. Hopefully he had his blinders on the last 3 weeks. But,
Yep, we'll find out.
That's all I'm saying. Crazy shit.
We got Mason Rudolph
Will Levis
taking over for the ever-memed Will Levis, who just can't get out of his own way.
I have to feel bad for Will Levis. This has not gone according to plan.
It was so horrible.
It was.
I watched I watched part of the game, and he threw the first interception. It was a mistake. It happened.
Right.
Obviously he was very upset about it.
Yep.
But he just got worse and worse and worse. He threw 4 interceptions in the game, I think.
I mean, you have to wonder, and that's the Bengals.
And that's Cincinnati's defense.
Listen, no disrespect to the Bengals. But we all know your fucking pass defense is nothing special.
Yeah. So, that's bad, right? So, I don't know. We may have seen the end of Will Levis. We'll see.
T's and P's to him. You have to think maybe it's a confidence issue if it snowballs like that. I have no idea.
And honestly, when Rudolph came in last week against Cincinnati, he had some crap plays too. He wasn't that much better. So run the ball, Tony Pollard. Run the ball,
that
Tennessee.
Is your script. I get you have Calvin Ridley, and I think one other really good wide receiver that's escaping my mind. But that
Spears and
Najee Spears and Tony Pollard should be what you're doing right now.
They should get 50 carries.
Callahan should have that offensive line looking like chef's kiss with his dad over top of him, directing traffic, and just fucking run the ball. You don't have quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Not until next year, maybe. Mac Jones.
Yes.
Jaguars versus Jets. We, I think, picked the Jaguars to win.
We did.
Or at least cover. And I'll be damned, Mac Jones does not look that bad. Again, who knows if it's when you have nothing to lose, you play better, which is a very real thing.
It's true.
And neither do the Jets, though. I mean, Mac Jones did not look that bad. He was having fun. Is it frustrating when you're a Jaguars fan and you lose the game that way? Of course.
Certainly.
But you lost Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson. That team, on paper, should have been way better than they are, record-wise. So, I mean, hats off to Mac Jones for making it work.
Right.
You just paid Trevor Lawrence all of this goddamn money.
Right.
And here comes Money Mac, looking like what he should have been on the Patriots.
Exactly.
It's crazy. And again, it's probably the end of the season shit. Most defenses probably don't want to get their bodies destroyed. And offensively, you're looking to pad the stats so that when you re-sign a contract, you go, look at those yards.
Right.
Look at those games. But, I mean, Mac Jones not looking half bad.
Yeah.
Stock rising. Who knows? Maybe.
Exactly. Maybe. We touched on Bryce Young. I don't know if there's really anything more to say there.
No, he's looked better in the second half of the season after coming back from benching. We all know that. I hope the Panthers get better. It sucks when you have teams in the NFL that do horribly.
Right.
Now, you talk about the Jets and some of these other teams, so be it, Cleveland. But, I don't love to see the Panthers doing that bad. Bryce Young has been taken on the shins. Same way I feel about Sam Darnold.
Right.
Same way I felt about Josh Rosen when the Cardinals cut him for Kyle Murray. It feels like a lot of these guys just don't get the shot they deserve.
True.
And again, it's the NFL's about results. If you're not going to have results, I get it. Both ways. It's a job.
Yeah. I was just listening on the way here to NFL radio, and they had the former the former coach Pete Carroll on.
Oh, Pete Carroll.
And they were talking to him about coaching today, and it was really interesting. And he was just talking about how he got fired 1 year into his first job, got a second job, got fired a year into that job.
Oh my God!
And I think he had 3 or 4 total seasons, and it just didn't go well.
Right.
Before he caught on with USC.
Oh, USC. That was that far back.
Yeah, that all the way back to the beginning of his coaching career. So kind of interesting. Kind of the same with quarterbacks.
It's so
you just don't get long, right?
No,
so
for sure.
You got to figure shit out quick, or you're screwed.
You really do.
Spencer Rattler.
Okay, that's someone that I think we talked about on the podcast being decent. Being underrated because we weren't hearing anything about him.
Right.
If I vaguely remember the conversation.
Yep.
Jake Haener, not the answer.
Nope.
He goes out. Spencer Rattler comes in, and I don't know
how he really did.
I can't speak on how well he really did either.
Yeah, Kamara got hurt.
Yeah, Kamara getting hurt.
Yep.
I mean, that game came down to the last play.
It really
was that
did.
2-point conversion. I love that.
Yeah.
Fucking take it out of the hands of the defense.
Yeah.
And just, hey, we're not making the playoffs anyway.
Right.
Let's just see what we can do here.
I thought it was the right call because leaving it to chance, you weren't going to win if they got the ball anyway.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, he 10 for 21, 135 yards and a touchdown, 84 rating. It's not too bad.
Spencer Rattler?
Yeah.
Did he start the game?
No, I think Jake Haener did.
Okay.
To my knowledge.
And he was sucking, I think, and that's why they pulled him.
They flipped it.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said there.
He's a fighter.
Derek Carr might have played his last snaps with the Saints. He might be thinking about retirement or looking to pull a Mark Sanchez or Ryan Fitzpatrick, start bouncing around the NFL, and I wouldn't be surprised if Rattler ends up taking over that team.
And I don't know the new head coach there, the name of him, but I like him.
Is he?
He does a pretty good job of coaching those guys up.
I mean, they got him hyped up, and as long as they don't pull Raiders and get rid of the players' coach they loved before, oh my God.
Yeah.
Whoever the current Raiders coach is.
Antonio Pierce?
Yeah.
The guy before.
The guy before him that the players really liked. If the Saints keep playing like this,
yeah.
I bet he stays, and I bet Rattler becomes quarterback 1 at this rate.
Be.
We'll see. We're just kind of touching on the quarterback jeopardy.
What happened with Jameis Winston? The Browns.
I mean, he had the press conference saying, please deliver us from pick sixes, and proceeded to throw a whole lot of interceptions.
He was terrible. I thought they're going to have to score a lot of points, and he had a good deep ball, Jerry Jeudy and all that, and it just came crashing down.
It really did, and they held the Chiefs to 21.
Yeah.
Even with Garrett Wilson, I think, getting poked in the eye at one point.
Yeah, that was awful.
Mahomes being like, my boy.
Yeah.
Just terrible to see. DTR getting the chance to do something. I think, this upcoming week he's starting officially.
Against Cincinnati.
Yeah. And I think Cleveland historically has a game or two against Cincinnati.
They do.
So
and Jerome Ford could be in for a big game.
Yep.
Cincinnati's run defense is not great.
Nick Chubb broke his foot. Fucking terrible. We'll see. DTR, I have no idea. He's kind of been there for a couple years now, and we really haven't seen...
He didn't do a whole lot really great.
No,
so
we haven't seen anything wonderful.
Going to be some real...
If he was going to have that game, it'd be against Cincinnati, though.
Could be. Throw it in the flat.
We'll have to see. Right. Jameis Winston, when he's not playing, it hurts. But, again, I'd rather watch him than watch him on the team I root for. So, T's and P's, Jameis Winston, we'll have to see what happens.
Geno Smith is optimistic to play.
So, it looks very likely Geno Smith will play. Was it his ankle too?
I don't know.
Oh shit!
That's all right.
I don't know why I immediately thought ankle. I saw him go out, and my parlay is just toast. Let me see the news. I'll cut this.
Yeah, well, and if he doesn't play, then we know we got Sam Howell, right?
Yes,
the former Washington Commander.
Oh yeah, and he did not look crazy against the Packers. Given no preparation, probably came in last minute. Because you never expect Geno Smith to get injured like that.
The Seahawks are so hard to figure out.
They really are. I mean, that coach looks good. He doesn't look great.
Yeah.
They win weird games. They lose odd games.
Yep.
Right knee. Sorry.
Right knee. Okay.
Knee injury. Well, who knows? I mean, I'm assuming Geno Smith will try and play.
Yeah.
They have legitimate playoff chances, I believe.
I think they're still in the fight.
The NFC West is a cluster. But
Rams looking pretty good.
Yeah, is that what this week is? Them against the Rams? Oh no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, the Rams definitely feel like they'll probably lock up that division.
Yeah, they're 6-2 in the last 8 games, I think.
Yeah, they're doing pretty damn good right now.
And they've got except for that weird Thursday night game that we don't need to talk about, but Puka and Kupp have just been
Kyron Williams even looking pretty good,
and their defense looks a lot better than it had. So
for sure.
They could be a surprise coming in from the outside on this.
I agree. Seahawks play the Vikings. Feels like that Vikings defense knows how to take apart a quarterback at times.
Yeah,
we'll really have to see.
Yep.
Geno Smith though, as of now, probable, questionable, optimistically questionable, almost a probable. So we'll see. Not fantasy advice. Just want to clear.
Right.
But yeah, that's quarterback jeopardy for this week. As you guys may have noticed, we've been dwindling on view counts and whatnot. We're trying to figure out how to make these a little bit better. So you'll notice this week we tried something new.
New format.
Hey, remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Please.
Tell your friends. Tell your family.
Put it on at the bar. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. People will leave. Nevertheless, though, shall we?
Yes.
Indulge in the little Week 16 football.
Let's do it.
All right. Week 16. Tonight I have to watch the Chargers play the Broncos at home. God, I forgot that was the first game.
Yes.
Chargers favored by 3. Over under 41.5. Before we even get started, I've got a Coy Pond pick for this week. Just for you guys. I did a little research, given I didn't have as much time to prepare today as I usually do. But I found me a little sneaky play for you wonderful people. Ladd McConkey, over 64.5 yards. Thursday night. Quentin Johnston underneath the lights of prime time is a bit of a question mark. Broncos play man-to-man. Justin Herbert doesn't have the best stats when he's playing at home versus division. However, if he's going to throw it somewhere, it's either going to be Stone Smart or Ladd McConkey. That's my pick. It'll be on Twitter probably before this video releases. So take it when you can. I could see that number getting up to as high as 70 by the time the game starts. Little value pick for my ladies and gentlemen out there.
Nice.
Nevertheless, that game is going to be hot. It has incredible implications. Chargers need to win 2 of the last 3 to make the playoffs for sure. Broncos, if they win this, I think there's a chance they might be in or close to in.
Wow.
Because the Bengals ride on either the Broncos or Chargers going 0-3 in the next 3 games. I believe with a win, whoever wins this game, the other team needs to lose out in order for the Bengals to have a shot.
Okay.
So that's what Bengals fans will be watching for this game, as we have playoff scenarios already coming out, as you'd imagine. Bo Nix has been looking good.
He has.
Now, against the Colts, I believe there was 2 pick sixes, 1 pick six by Anthony Richardson. Don't look to get those points for Justin Herbert. He hasn't thrown an interception since week 2 or 3, maybe.
Yeah.
He has the 5th highest ever passing without an interception stat going at the moment. Of course, because I said that, this will be the game they get a pick 6. Regardless, I kind of feel like this game's going to be close.
Yeah.
He already beat up the Broncos once this year. That was before Bo Nix was really taking off and feeling comfortable in the offense, it felt like.
Yeah.
Chargers defense has been looking okay. They got kind of brutalized by Tampa Bay, but I think that speaks more to what Baker Mayfield can do against defenses.
Yeah.
Who knows? This scares me because of all the progress Bo Nix has made offensively. Again, didn't look great against the Colts. There was a time where the Colts were winning that game with Anthony Richardson of all people. I would probably lean, if this number gets to 3.5, I'd probably lean Broncos spread. Just me personally, without talking about the over-under.
Right.
Gus Edwards is not an amazing running back by himself. Vidal has looked better, but he doesn't look amazing. I think this is going to be a passing game, which would lead to me believing that this could be a higher scoring game.
Yeah.
But we've been burned and turned by this.
We have.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a crazy one, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, it should be a great Thursday night game to watch.
It should. Again, we went with the over.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the under, because both teams kind of play good defense.
Right.
But to your point, let's take the return touchdowns out of it.
Yep.
And let's say probably some conservative game planning for both.
Yes.
Trying to win low-scoring games. Neither one of them are real shootout teams right now.
Because the Chargers have the edge over the Broncos if they win this.
Yeah.
Broncos fall to the 7th seed. Chargers get the 6th seed, I believe.
So I got to believe that Jim Harbaugh is going to try to keep the script simple.
Yes.
Control
the ball.
Yep. I'm thinking under.
You're thinking under?
Yep. But I'm thinking Chargers win.
Okay. I think Broncos cover 3.5 if you get it there. If this stays at 2.5, I'd take the Chargers personally. This will be a boring game more than likely.
That's what I'm thinking.
And it's a good game because of it, but it'll be a boring game.
And I'm thinking they're going to keep it conservative because, again, they both want this game. So
exactly. I think it's going to be a very defensive battle.
I agree.
So because of that, I think we're on the same page without even having to say it. The Coy Pond pick of the week, and we don't have to talk about records with this thing, is going to be the under right now, 41.5.
Under
yep. 41.5. We'll
right.
see what happens, but that's what we're going with at the moment.
Sweet.
On to Saturday. We got Saturday games. How exciting is that?
It's awesome. I love this time of year.
I do too. Texans at Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 3.5. Over under 41.5. Saturday at 1:00. Again,
we've got to wait and see what Pat Mahomes is doing, right?
Chiefs, we don't know who's starting quarterback.
Yeah.
There's enough of a discussion that there's, it might be smart not to start him. We already gave you that speech. Texans haven't looked great.
No.
Haven't looked bad. It's Texans on the road, though.
Right.
And for Stroud, that scares me a bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Chiefs defense has pulled it off every fucking week this year, basically.
I got to go Chiefs.
I would go Chiefs as well. Even with Carson Wentz, I would go Chiefs. They still have Pacheco. And that defense can handle it.
Andy Reid will call the right kind of plays for him. And,
yes.
And I just don't think the Texans have it on the road.
Right. And I would take that to win. I would not take the -3.5. The Chiefs are terrible against the spread this year because every game's been close except the one they just got done winning.
Right.
I think that's enough said there.
Yep.
Steelers at Ravens. TJ Watt.
Yeah.
A little bit of an injury, ankle sprain.
Yep.
I'd imagine he'll get back sooner than we expect. He's a Watt. They're built differently. However, it is the Ravens.
It is the Ravens.
Deontay Johnson probably not going to play in this. He might have been a factor, but I don't think things are good in Raven land for him at the moment.
Yeah.
It's Lamar Jackson. He's having a MVP runner-up season at the moment, according to the odds, not me. Baltimore's favored by 6.5, over under 45.5.
Pittsburgh won the first game, right?
Pittsburgh, I believe, won the first game.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be personal. I think the Ravens murder them or try to murder them.
Yeah.
I don't know if George Pickens is back or not.
I'm not sure if he is or not. That's been an issue.
If George Pickens isn't back, take the Ravens -6.5.
I'd go with that.
Regardless, I'd probably still take Ravens to win here in Baltimore. Lord knows they'll be out in abundance, but that's our Saturday 4:30 game.
I think you're probably right.
My hunch. Do you have an alternate opinion on that?
I agree with that.
Hell yeah. Rams at Jets. Rams favored by 3, over under 46.5. Jets have been looking better offensively. I don't know how much longer Aaron Rodgers is going to play before he just gets sick and tired of playing for a team that's already eliminated from the playoffs. Recent reports say that he's going to go back into the darkness retreat to figure out what next year holds. We'll see what that really means. That's not exactly what he said. He said he's going to think about the future. Rams looking hot. I personally kind of like the Rams to win this.
Yeah.
I might even sprinkle the -3 in worst case it pushes. Rams hot. Sauce Gardner got an interception this past week, and I don't believe he'll get. I don't want to say that. I think the Rams can do enough.
I agree with that.
I don't have much faith in the Jets. They're probably beaten down. They barely got the win over the Jaguars, who we know much more problems than the Rams.
Rams bring a lot more than the Jags. Yeah.
Yep. Eagles at Commanders. Eagles favored by 3.5. Over under 45.5. Commanders barely beat the Saints.
Yeah.
Eagles probably want this game pretty bad,
Yep.
looking to steal the one away from the Lions. From the Lions. I don't know where I was going with that.
I'm going Eagles.
I would take Eagles. Eagles only favored 3.5. It feels like that should be 6.5 to me.
Yeah.
Commanders again can put up points, but Eagles defense is really humming right now. Cooper DeJean, and the other guy Blankenship,
yeah,
looking real good. I think they can figure it out and win that game.
Agree.
Giants at Falcons. Atlanta's favored by 8.5. Over under 42.5.
That's crazy.
I'm going to take Drew Lock to cover 8.5.
I agree. I think Atlanta wins the game.
Yeah.
Ultimately, but I think that they don't cover.
Right,
Yeah.
and I mean, that feels wrong. And I'm not saying because the Giants are any way better, because the Falcons have way more talent.
Yeah.
But that's a rookie quarterback's first start.
It is. That's a lot of points.
I'll play those odds personally. Maybe you could tease that up to 10.5 and really feel good about it, but that's just me. Cardinals at Panthers. Cardinals favored by 5.5. Over under 47.5. Cardinals still playing for the possibility of winning that division.
They are.
Panthers not going to be favored after last week.
No.
Kyler
Murray is still kind of a mess at times.
Kyler Murray, he did claim that Trey McBride's going to get his first touchdown very, very soon. I don't know if I buy into that at all. Frankly, I don't. Spread-wise, I probably wouldn't touch 5.
That's a little high, isn't it?
Well, it's weird. It's weird because that's not enough to cover losing by 7, but it does cover losing by 3. But why the 2.5 extra points then?
Right.
I don't know. Or 1.5 extra points.
Yeah.
Can't do math. I probably pick the Cardinals to win.
I think so.
I think that's a safe bet. I don't think I'm going to mess with the spread at all.
Yeah.
Do you have any other feeling?
I think they cover it, though.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I think they cover
you think
it.
They win by a touchdown at least?
Yeah.
Okay. Browns at Bengals. DTR starting. Bengals favored by 7.5. Over under 46.5. Bengals are playing for the possibility of having playoff chances, given that today when you're watching this, you'll have a good idea of who you need to lose out in order for the Bengals to get in. Frankly, I think Bengals win this by 7. The 7.5 scares me just a little bit, but Garrett Wilson, the Browns are pretty beat up.
Yeah.
And Bengals are playing for something at this point.
Right.
I just have to believe the Bengals win. Now, I don't know about the 7.5.
Yeah.
It kind of scares me with the half point.
I think, and these are usually grudge matches between the teams and all that. So,
Browns.
I probably agree with that.
Yeah, maybe
Cincinnati wins, but doesn't cover.
Right, maybe you take Bengals -7.
There you go.
Just to feel good about it. Just my hunch. I hate the half point sometimes. It scares me. Titans at Colts. Colts favored by 3.5. Over under 42.5. You just have to think the Colts win this.
Colts win it.
They're due for a win.
Yeah, Tennessee's got issues.
They're not fully out of it yet. They're getting close. Tennessee's got too many problems.
Agree.
But I think Colts have the worst run defense in the league.
They're
playing Pollard and Spears, who Spears just had a crazy week.
Yeah.
It's 3.5.
At the Colts.
It's divisional. It's at the Colts. God, I
Don't,
might be overthinking this.
Doesn't Tennessee usually give the Colts fits?
I think they do. I think the Colts typically have weird games against divisional opponents across the board because they did lose in Clown Town a couple years back.
I just don't think Rudolph is
no.
He's
not enough.
Yeah, I think Colts win.
Colts win that. Lions at Bears. Lions favored by 6.5. Over under 47.5. I don't know how this spread isn't 13. Personally, I'm going to take Lions -6.5. I think offensively they can tear them apart. Bears had some injury problems against the Vikings this past week. Stevenson, being the Hail Mary guy, was one of them. I think the Lions got this just fine. The Bears look defeated to me.
Going to be interesting to see Jamar Gibbs without David Montgomery in there.
Yes, we'll find out very quickly what that looks like.
Are they throwing the ball more? Are they got another back they throw in there? I don't know. We'll see.
I have no idea. I like Lions to cover, though.
I believe that.
Okay. Vikings at Seahawks. Vikings favored by 3 going into Seattle. Over under 43.5. Seahawks may or may not have Geno Smith, looking like they probably will.
Yep.
If it's Sam Howell behind there, or if the Vikings gets the quarterback at all and re-injure that,
yeah,
might have a different outlook for this game.
Yeah.
The Seahawks at home have not looked great this season, to what I know.
No,
And
I agree.
the Vikings don't look bad.
No.
They look kind of covered. I'm thinking Vikings -3.
I agree. Totally.
Perfect. Patriots at Bills. Buffalo favored by 14. Over under 46.5. I'll be honest, I'm going to stay away. I don't like that spread. That money line's probably -1,000. And the total points, you would need the Patriots to do something to probably cover that. Or I don't see. Maybe the Bills go up 50-0.
Yeah.
It's the NFL. Usually when odds get this inflated, it makes me feel worse.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm going to stay away. I would assume the Bills win this.
Yeah. I think the Bills win by 20.
Okay. Well, there you go. He's taking the spread. Jaguars at Raiders. Raiders are favored by 1.5. Over under 40.5.
Interesting.
Against Kirk Cousins, they only lost by 6. And the Jaguars just about took care of business against the Jets.
Yeah.
Give me Jaguars plus 1.5.
I agree.
I don't see the Raiders doing much here.
Me neither.
They didn't look amazing.
Max Crosby's now out, had season-ending surgery, so
Desmond Ridder.
That's the last league guy they had. So
yeah, I'm going Mac Jones.
Yeah,
I think he's loving life right now. 49ers at Dolphins. Miami favored by 1.5. Over under 44.5.
Crazy, huh?
I mean, the 49ers could win this as a joke at
They
this
could.
point. I don't know. The Dolphins' front line didn't look terrible.
No.
Or I'm thinking of the Raiders, though. Max Crosby, I think. Well, maybe. Who's the Dolphins? It doesn't matter. I don't know. It feels like everything's exploding in 49er land with Campbell just walking off the field because he didn't start.
They've got a mess, yeah.
They've got a bit of a mess. The Dolphins are a bit of a mess. They're fighting for that spot.
Yep.
Do I dare choose Tua just because it's home in Miami World, or do I assume the 49ers know how to take care of that?
I think the 49ers take care of that.
All right.
I really do.
All right, you convinced me.
I think Brock Purdy's not going to have – he didn't have a great game,
right.
But weather was an issue.
Yeah.
I think they bounce back here.
Hell yeah. Let's do it, 49ers. Okay, we got our Sunday night game, Buccaneers at Cowboys. Tampa Bay favored by 4. Over under 48.5.
This could be ugly.
I mean, Tampa Bay just exploded the Chargers.
Yeah.
Cowboys have a few injuries on defense.
Offense across the board.
Respectfully, I'm going Tampa Bay.
I would too.
It's nothing personal.
They've got something to play for. Dallas doesn't. There's the bottom line.
Baker Mayfield, it might be baked December for all I know. It's horrifying. And Overshown going out was just that hurt my heart.
Trayvon Diggs is out for the season now. Had a problem with his leg or something, and
I would love to see this get crazy and the Buccaneers lose this. I just don't think they can.
No, I think it is going to be a high-scoring game, though.
I could see the over 48.5. Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll throw out a little teaser for the ladies and gentlemen out there. Saints at Packers. Green Bay favored by 14.5. Over under 42.5.
I don't think they cover the 14.5, but Green Bay wins.
It is in Lambeau, though.
It is.
And it is December.
True.
It is getting cold out, and those New Orleans Saints did not go marching in.
No.
Very much at all this season. Kumbaya. You're taking Green Bay 14.5?
Green Bay less than 14.5.
Oh, you're taking Saints spread.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry. Got
Green Bay won't cover.
Yeah, no, 14.5 feels like a
Too
lot.
high. Yeah.
Rattler, no one has much footage on him at this point.
Right.
For the joke of the whole thing, we'll take the Saints go marching in one last time before they get executed. Saints plus 14.5. And that wraps up episode 58.
Woohoo.
Anything left from you?
Nothing I can think of.
We're keeping it quick. Oh, I guess still hit 40 minutes.
That's impossible. There's too much to talk about.
I have no words for this. Regardless, I hope everyone has a great week. Podcast going forward might look a little different. We might have a Bros and Hoes podcast coming up, and we might have us talking playoffs on a Saturday. Who knows? And we'll let you know as we make them. Nevertheless, hope everyone has a great week, and we will see you all the day after Christmas.
Day after Christmas, yeah.
Hey.
Merry Christmas.
Have a Merry Christmas. This is a Christmas episode.
Good luck. Get your shopping done.
Yeah,
yes.
get your presents ripped.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Wrapped. Yeah. Kumbaya, and we will see you all next week.
Adios.